This is a placeholder song, until we replace the old song. This is a placeholder song for Is This Anything?
Hey, this is Rob Ryan coming at you.
Rob sounds louder than Brett. Brett, how do I sound compared to Rob?
Rob sound a tiny bit louder than you.
Okay, Rob, bring it down, man.
Yeah, I came to that conclusion too.
We shouldn't have heard you mouth that so well.
Let's
God,
go.
Jarret's always telling me what to fucking do. I fucking know what to do, man. Rob, can you turn down your passive aggressiveness a little bit?
Well,
still getting
Zoom
a lot
has
of
this
it.
thing set to high every time I reset in. I just got an update. That's the problem.
I see.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Adam.
Hey,
What's
our
up,
recording speaker.
everybody?
Adam
How are ya?
Mamawala. Hey, Lee's here.
Oh,
Hey, did you
There
just
we
get out of Leedy shower time?
I did, yeah.
Nice.
I just got out of Leedy slept until 11. So
Mm.
went and showered and then had a lazy morning.
Leedy
Good for
lazy
you.
time.
That doesn't sound as catchy.
Yeah, you're right. Leedy lazy time works though.
There we go.
I
I got
am going to edit
Fine.
from when Leedy was talking about sleeping until 11 until right now. Because I have something to say about it.
I have something to say about Leedy right now. Leedy, because your jacket shirt blends a little bit with your chair behind you. If I no, oh, you're
No, you
so-
gotta go back.
Look like,
gotta
does
go
it
back.
look like I have
You
really
got
massive
1980s.
shoulder pads?
Yeah,
Shoulder
you're
pads.
yeah, exactly. You're a power businesswoman from the 80s.
Who is she?
I was like, oh shit, Leedy.
Oh my God, it's
Leedy.
Sigourney Weaver from Working Girl.
That's just one really long
Julia
shoulder
Roberts.
pad. There you go.
I used to be a late sleeper. I used to be an evening person, and I don't know what happened, but I've just started naturally every day. I get up at 6 a.m. No alarm clock.
Wow.
This is an unheard of. I've never heard of this thing happening to a human
I've only
being
heard of
who doesn't
it.
have
I've only
kids.
heard of it with moms. Yeah, it's a big mom thing. Like my
Yeah.
mom has woken up at 5:30 or 6. I've literally in my life never woken up and my mom is still asleep. It has never happened.
Wow.
Never once.
Even if
Well,
you
yeah.
go to like pee in the middle of the night, she's just like there. Like, would you like breakfast really early?
Yes, I
When
guess
you're
that
wearing
is the
dirty?
technicality. Yeah, yeah.
Do you need me to clean that?
It would not surprise me if I got up to pee in the middle of the night and she were already like doing some sort of chore that certainly could have waited.
You get
I-
up to pee. When you come back, she's already made your bed.
Yeah. It's like that feeling like when you're on like a cruise or like at a fancy event and you take a sip of water and it's like being poured into your glass as you put the glass down.
Yeah.
You're like, this is excessive. I feel gross about this.
I've heard of it before with roosters.
Yeah, I just say this so that if there's like a Dr. House out there who's watching our episodes and is like, oh my God, he's getting up at 6 a.m. without an alarm clock, he's suffering from esophageal.
I thought that does just happen to people as they get older.
Yeah, I wake up
Maybe.
at 8 a.m. consistently, pretty much.
And there's a person who's older.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
She's
mean,
getting up there.
Just trying to say it's the thing.
I
that
heard that this is something that happens to old people. Leedy, do you have any
she
First
jumps
Chime in,
right in.
lady.
anecdotal information
happens to
about
me.
this?
Okay. Well, us ancient people, sometimes what happens is
Leedy, you got up at
Jarret, what time
11
do you go to
today.
what time do you go to sleep, Jarret?
That's the thing is like, so what I thought was happening was I'm on an antidepressant. The antidepressant is a soporific, like it can put you to sleep. And so,
Humble
but
brag. Humble brag.
Mhm, mhm.
So for a while, I was fine on the antidepressant, staying up until 1 a.m, as is my want. And then all of a sudden, it started like really knocking me out early. And so I started pushing when I took it later and later. I even took it down I halved my dose because I told my doctor, I was like, it's really putting me to sleep at night. So I switched it thinking that I would be able then to stay up later. But now I'm still just going to bed at 11:30 at night, even though I made all those changes.
I kind of like the idea that because of your antidepressant, you're just not depressed enough to sleep in. The doctor's like, "Oh, you must be a little too happy. Why don't you
gonna take
scale
it
it
down
back
a
a little
notch."
bit?"
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't know
a
what's-
usual sign of depression that you want to be like up and ready to attack the day.
I don't know what's going on, man. I get up at 6 a.m. I work out. I'm eating well. I I got a new lease on life. I'm productive.
Yeah, like
my
when they show
relationship's better.
when they show the little guy with like the cloud following him around, he's usually not wearing athleisure.
So yeah, I guess that counts as my catch up. What's going on with everybody else? How are you guys doing? Adam, I haven't seen you since before the pandemic. How have you been?
I've been okay, man. I feel like all things considered, I feel lucky. I've kept myself busy. My family's good. Like, yeah, I'm all right.
That's great, man.
Are you still in Manhattan?
I have never been in Manhattan. I've
this
never once.
Window
I gotta
behind
go.
you says different. You're right in Central Park. Right now,
I
guess.
am. That
Thank
is
you,
Central
Rob.
Park
Thank
behind
you.
me. That is.
What a beautiful view, too.
I know. I actually. You have no idea how much I pay to live on Park Avenue. It is,
And to get a sunset to your right. That's fantastic.
that's true.
pretty
That's
incredible.
actually a sunset from my roof. That's kind of that's legit. But there is something poetic about a man living next to an above ground trainer in Astoria, just dreaming of the view behind me.
Well, on our first tour together, me and Brett, we stayed at an Airbnb in Boise, Idaho, and in the bathroom was a giant poster for the city of Chicago.
It's definitely that thing from IKEA, like that canvas print that everybody has from IKEA.
Yeah, exactly. But I was also thinking, like, have some confidence, Boise. You know? It's going to be like an aspirational Airbnb. Like, listen, we understand you're staying here and you really want to be in Chicago. We get it.
Say, Boise's like, dress like the city you want to be. That's just...
But it's particularly funny to me that like Boise, even in Boise's wildest dreams, it can't have New York on the wall. It's still Chicago. It's still like a second tier.
And it's like a shitty part of town, too. You're like, what? I don't understand. This is
Like, why
not
is this
even
just the exterior of the White Sox Stadium? What is this?
So I just flew in for this gig in Denver, Colorado, just one night with opening for Steve Hofstetter. And Leedy flew in too as a nice surprise. And she also did the show. And when we were at the airport flying back, we went to La Mesa, this restaurant called La Mesa. And
Mesa Verde.
Mesa Verde, that was it. Yes, we went to a restaurant called Mesa Verde,
like from,
and Leedy was like, "Oh, have you ever been to Mesa Verde?" And I was like, "No, why?" And she's like, "It's so beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Look, what is it?" She's like, "Let me bring up a picture." So she's googling it. There's not good service. She finally finds a picture. She's like, "Look." And then we look around. We realize there's just pictures of Mesa Verde everywhere around the wall. And at one point, I went, "Where is Mesa Verde?" And she's like, I forget. And she Googles it. She's like, "Oh yeah, Colorado," because that's where we are. We were so like tired it was such late shows and we had to get up early for the airport. We were just like complete nonsense, just two dumb people eating tacos.
No good.
Wait, so Mesa Verde is not just a restaurant; it's like a location in
Oh
Colorado.
yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'd look you up a picture, but I actually printed one out. It's beautiful. It's an old cliff dwelling. It's really cool.
Ooh, cliff
Yeah.
dwelling.
What's a cliff dwelling?
Mm.
I'll just look up a picture.
It's
No,
like a village,
I wanna-
a village under a cliff.
I know
Yes,
enough Spanish to know that Mesa Verde means green table.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's what I thought you were going to look
And I
up,
know
was
enough
just a picture of a
English
green
to know
table.
that cliff dwelling means living in a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So
When you asked that,
lived
Rob,
there?
I was like, root words, man. Maybe we. I think you figured it out.
I thought that, but it just seemed insane to me that this was
This is a very, very old village. And
Right.
so seeing it historically is kind of cool. Nobody lives there now.
Very cool.
when do you have any
Nice.
other facts about this? Like when was this?
There was
lived
nothing
in?
on the menu.
There wasn't like fun, Mesa Verde like names for
Maybe-
appetizers and
Maybe a
and-
maze, maybe a word jumble.
I could tell you that the mushroom tacos were delicious.
Oh, did they maybe forage for mushrooms back then in the cave dwelling, and that's why that's the specialty on the menu?
That feels like a realization we would have had in the restaurant.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's a national park, but the cliff dwelling was abandoned in the 1300s because of a drought. That's it.
Cool.
I don't remember
Fun.
what pueblo lived there, but some sort of an ancient pueblo.
We just get some irrigation back in there. That place could be.
There you go.
Pretty hopping.
Could be inhabitable.
That could be a great Airbnb.
Absolutely.
I do love Rob asking for facts about these cliff dwellings, because we know how Rob's brain work, where he's like, I'd really love some information. You guys give me some information that I could store in the this might be true pile, but I'm going to do my own research.
Did you guys trick me into doing a podcast about irrigation? Because
Again. Anyway, let's talk to you about aqueducts. I don't want to cover them.
All right. Anybody else have a catch up to get to? Any fun bit of business?
Nothing for me. I mean, the shows in Colorado were really, really, really fun.
That's
That's
great.
great.
That's all.
That's super cool. I'm going to be traveling a bit myself. I've got a couple of stops, and then it's going to be on tour with you, Jarret.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get
You're
back
coming
on the
too?
road.
Yeah, I get to be on the road with you guys for like 3 days. Before.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, yeah, the last 3 days, I think.
Yeah.
And Steve Hofstetter has hired a tour manager for the entire 3 months that he's on the road.
Oh,
And the
that's
tour manager is a friend of mine.
Get out.
That's
oh,
right.
nice. I feel like I saw you like post something about that on Facebook in very vague terms, and I assume that's what you were referring to.
That's right. The best part. So I Steve was like, yeah, the thing about this tour manager position is we want it to be someone fun to hang out with. We're going to be on the road with this person.
Right.
So he said to everybody, he's like, if you got friends that maybe want to do this, like, put it on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And I got 3 or 4 people who asked me about it, who I didn't want to tell them about it. I just wanted to be like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. There was like a comic I know who hit me up and was like, ooh, I'm interested in this job. And I'm like, you don't get to do stand-up. It's just
Right.
being a tour manager. But I was like, oh, I guess I'll just tell you about the job so that you can tell me that you're not interested in it.
There aren't a lot of
Instead.
comics I can envision being good tour managers.
Yeah.
I could be.
right.
I mean, that's a stereotype, but it just
Well,
doesn't
luckily-
seem like
John Bander is an improviser, and I can imagine a lot of improvisers that would be good tour managers.
yeah, because they know how to work with people and they're not
Yeah.
psychopaths like all of
Yes.
us.
Yeah.
It's like they don't have to prepare the material that they're going to perform, which leaves them a lot of time for organizing and making spreadsheets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really thought that was going to get a pop.
It just made
It's
sense.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I logged it in like, that's legit.
Oh, wow. That went right
Well,
to the fact
straight.
file.
Wow.
Nothing does that.
There's a little like prize alarm going off in Rob's brain.
That's always so discouraging when you're on stage and you can just feel that from an audience where you're like, oh, so they acknowledge that I made a good point, but that the point was not funny.
Yeah. Is there a job that's stand-up good point guy? Because I was going for stand-up comedy, but
TED Talk.
I like it though because they go like clever but not funny, and I think
Yeah.
it's just like so accidentally judgmental. I love it.
everybody in the audience is writing it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh.
Do you want any updates from me? I feel like I was fairly vague. I don't know what you want to know.
I would
No,
love
you
an
had your
update.
chance. You had your chance.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. Next time.
Please, no, tell us, Adam, what's going on, man?
Give us this update, man. Don't make us beg.
I'll give you a personal life update, which I'm actually going to talk about when I try my hot bits, which is that I am an uncle as of like 3 weeks ago.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's my first nephew or niece. So his name is Maliki, which is kind of a cool, interesting name.
Nephew.
And
I'm
yes,
gonna go
nephew.
nephew.
And I'm gonna
Thanks, Jarret.
I'm gonna go visit him. And my sister lives in like the St. Pete area of Florida, so I'm going down there in September to visit the little guy.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about him. He's very cute.
Now,
And,
Malachi, does he have to fulfill some kind of prophecy or something like that with that name?
It is. It does mean messenger of God, which
Yeah.
is a lot of pressure on a
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like that is a lot.
They're going with a kind of an alternate pronunciation, which is Maliki.
Oh, Maliki.
Maliki.
And you can
but I
tell
think-
because that's what Adam said when he first said the name.
Yeah, Brett. No, Brett just doesn't. Brett doesn't listen.
That is correct.
Rob is very
also-
spicy today.
It's also like an Irish. It's also like an Irish thing, and my brother-in-law studied in Belfast, so I think that's like part of the
Oh.
reasoning for it. Yeah.
So if Malachi means messenger of God, what does Maliki mean?
Messenger of the Florida Keys. That was the best I could do.
You did great. I put you on the
excellent.
That
spot.
works.
Yeah. Sounds like you would be a good tour manager.
You know what? I
Ooh.
probably would. I am among the more responsible comedians, I would say.
Yeah.
I think I'm very punctual. I'm very professional. So, well, I'm never gonna make it. I have way too much. I care way too much to ever succeed in this business.
Every time you show up 5 minutes before a gig, they're like, all right,
This will
nope.
put Mamawala on.
Yes, guy clearly has nothing else going on if he's here on time.
If you always show up late to a gig, people think about you so much more. They're like, oh my God, where is Jarret? When is Jarret going to get here? Do we have to put someone up in Jarret's spot and then put Jarret later?
Oh, thank God Jarret's here.
Exactly.
Jarret made it. Let's get
I
Jarret
had
on
a
right now.
streak for years where in New York, especially on like bar shows, I would be the only person who was there at the start of the show. They would end up having to put me first, and then you get to perform in front of 4 people, and the asshole who showed up late gets a packed room an hour later, and it's wildly frustrating.
Yeah, thank you for warming up the audience. Thank you for allowing everybody else to filter in.
Yeah. Now, on a show that's already well attended, I actually take it as a compliment if I'm put first, because that means they're trusting me to do well up top and not blow it for everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
But I hate when it's like, oh yeah, we were going to have you go later, but since you're the only person who's not actively late, now you are first.
I like people like tuning into your Netflix special and they're like, boo, turning it off, shirt too ironed.
Oh, it might happen.
You know how some comics will do that dramatic walk to the stage and the audience is like clapping and everything? On your special, you go out there and it's completely empty because you're an hour early. And you're like,
I
yeah,
just filmed that for my sound check.
just like inspecting everything. Everything looks good.
They show the audience and then Adam's already there. There's no walk to the stage.
Come on in, guys. Come on in. There's plenty of room. Yep. Front first and then around behind.
Oh, he's here already.
Google says Saint Malachi, or Malachi, if that's how it's spelled, is a patron saint in Belfast. He's the patron saint of a church.
Being saint of a church is so 1-to-1.
It is redundant.
Yeah.
There are people who are like the patron saint of pretty.
Of traveling, of lost souls, of
Yeah,
artists.
it's not like a patron saint of Red Lobster. Well, maybe there is.
I wonder how small you can go with being a saint of stuff. Like, I'm a saint of this bubble tea.
This one specific one.
Or
I
honestly,
was the
like very
patron saint of
obscure
an-
saints. Yeah.
I was the 86 Mets.
Some saints are saints of so many things. I remember learning about one that was like the patron saint of travelers, of wellness, of the springtime, of blah blah blah. It was like 10, 15 different things. I was like, this is very greedy for a saint.
Yeah,
take
it's
all these
like
things.
it's like Jared Leto. He's got a successful band, then he's doing acting. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Imagine God calling in the saint being like, I think you've taken on too much. He's like, I'm just trying. There's fires everywhere. What are you doing? You're saint of like 15 things. I can handle it. I can handle it. No, we're taking you off.
Can we give one thing to Malachi? He's just sitting around that church.
I need lost souls. Just give me lost souls. No.
Patron saint of multitasking.
Oh God, one more thing, Jesus. All right, I think we should get to the joke segment, guys.
Let's do the joke section.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
Got a joke.
Fuck! I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Neither do we.
What happened, Jared?
Only Jarrett knows.
Because he's
But I
been
really-
up for 12 hours.
It's almost my bedtime. I gotta go to sleep. This is gonna take a second because I switched computers recently. But I just remember the reason why I had the expletive is because I remember that we have a song.
Oh yes.
All right, we have a song from Tara Thompson and Leah.
Oh, okay.
One song. They worked on it together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tara and Leah.
Take it away.
I'm just saying, we have it.
Oh, all right. Let's get to that joke section.
Oh,
New
shit.
computer.
I just realized we could play it too.
Looking at downloads. Here we go. Okay. All right. New computer. Okay. Share screen. Share sound.
I don't think it's voice activated. You got to click it.
Alexa, share screen.
Okay. Here we go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you hearing the song, Jarret? Because you're dancing and we're not hearing anything.
Oh, that's what I inferred from nobody else dancing.
Have you shared, based on Jarrett's reaction, I think it's a great song. Have you
Sounds like a bop.
Have you shared the sound?
I did share the
that as well?
sounds.
Didn't you hear him say?
I'm going to
But
try
did he
this.
click it or did he just say it? 'Cause then I was dead on.
Now it's that time, and you know what that means. We got Rob, Ryan, Brett, Jarret, Benstein. We're gonna pitch some jokes.
Oh. My computer screen is frozen, and all I can see is I can't do anything. All I can see is that the song is at 0 seconds.
Oh, no.
Adam, can you do it, please?
I will not do it.
I don't know what to do. I can't believe that I can hear you guys and you can hear me because I literally have no control over my screen right now.
That is so bananas. This is a fuck up that I have never seen before.
Now it's that time, and you know what that means. We got Rob, Ryan, Brett, Jarret, Benstein. We're gonna pitch some jokes, make them dirty or clean, but then they've seriously gotta ask ourselves, is this anything? 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 Is this anything?
Wow.
Wow. All right.
That was amazing.
What a
was
tune!
excellent.
Had kind of like a spy song, James Bondy kind of
Yeah.
look to it.
Oh,
was
Oh
awesome.
my god, that was incredible. That was definitely the best song that we've had, right?
Oh, love
I
it.
think
Yeah.
so. I think
Yeah.
so. It is like 4 or 5 times longer than it can be for it to be an intro
Yes.
song. But
I will
it's
say
still
this,
great.
without a doubt, it is the best vocals.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I
And-
love this.
Production value. I thought it was awesome. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
great
fantastic.
job.
That's the longest build-up for 50 seconds since the first time I got laid.
Oh.
I love it.
Ooh. Thank you, Tara and Leah. For
And
that
Adam for
submission.
that
Adam,
joke.
yeah.
That fit.
I've been working on my cat skills stuff. Take my wife, for example. No, seriously, take her.
Going forward, I feel like we need to specify if we're going to get any more submissions. These songs have to be like between 10 and 15 seconds long.
Make them longer, actually. That's my note. I want to see epics. This is so fun because every time Jarret freaks out about how long it is, that's also fun. Because that's great.
Was Bohemian Rhapsody, was that short?
No, it
Hotel
was not.
California, you know?
Yeah, and also none of those are intros for podcasts. So great songs,
Brick.
wonderful songs. All right,
Thank you so much, Leah and Tara. That was amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. And I think we should slap that on for at least the next couple of weeks.
Are
Ooh,
you?
I did just think of a good Bohemian Rhapsody cover for this podcast.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Is this the real life? Is this bit anything? And then just
Ooh.
Oh, and then 5 more minutes of music. Yes.
And that's the
Say
only
it,
line
something.
that's changed.
Just that.
And then
And just the rest of the song.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Are you guys ready to tell some jokes today?
Oh, yeah. Do you have an order for us?
I do have an order for you. I talked to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
You didn't have to. You didn't have to.
Hmm?
You did
Oh
not
my
have to.
motherfucking
Oh my
god!
goodness.
Oh,
Oh,
she
my
could.
Forgotten the day
Fucking God.
off. That's right.
I
Wow.
told Adam about so much stuff before this to prepare him. I totally forgot about the jar machine. We used to have, now we have a drunk Ruth Bader Ginsburg named Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which I explained to you over the message. What I did not say is that when we have someone whose name begins with A, we can use our old machine that we use to figure out the order, which is the jar machine.
Yep.
No. that's gonna turn-
Jarb? Is that what you're
Jarb.
saying?
Yeah,
J-A-R-B.
Mission, J-A-R-B.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that an acronym or?
Well, for Jarret,
So you
Adam,
did not
Rob, and
explain
Brett.
that Ruth
I
Bader
gotcha.
Ginsburg is an acronym. You just explained that we have a drunk
Ruth Bader
Ruth Bader
Ginsburg.
Ginsburg called
Ruth Bader
Ginsburg. But you didn't explain where that came
It's not
from.
important. That's too much information. Someone's just walking into your podcast. They're just like, I don't need
think
to
it
read a
is
novel
important.
here. I just want to tell some jokes.
Well, Adam was
Bader
clearly
Ginsburg.
confused.
It just sounds like Dr. Steve Brule saying Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Just like lightly off.
All right.
All right. So fire up that Jarbinator.
All right, here we go. This thing's getting a lot of use lately.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, our order this week is Jarret, Rob, Adam, Brett.
All right.
Jared, Rob, Adam, Brett.
Rob, Adam,
Excellent.
Brett.
I
Okay.
sense that there wasn't a real machine.
Really weird of you to say.
What are
Adam.
you talking about? That's
Really
blasphemy.
bizarre.
It's pretty fucked up, Adam. We invite you on the show. Say some shit like that.
I suppose you're going to say that Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Can we
is
just
a
get back to the
figment of our
irrigation?
imagination as well?
All right. So my bit today is actually something that I said on a previous episode that was not part of my joke, but that Brett said specifically, oh, that's funny. You should make that into something.
Great.
So I have a first draft here, and I want to see if you guys can help me make this into
Second draft.
a second draft. Yeah, exactly. All right.
That's the name of our show. Into
Help
second
me
draft.
Make this into a second draft. All right. I've done a lot of embarrassing stuff in my life. You know that thing that happens when you remember something embarrassing that you did and it makes you shake like with embarrassment, like it's a physical thing. I do that so often that my fiance recognizes it now. And so whenever I shake like that, she goes, ooh, what was that one? All right. And that's what I got. What do you guys think?
I love that concept. And I think what will be really fun is if she's so attuned to it that she can tell what category of failure or disaster that it was. So you're just like, and you're like, ooh, what was that one? That felt like middle school.
Was that first day of being a waiter? Maybe. That's really funny. I did write a couple of like fake, potentially funny things that she could say. Like, was that the time you slammed a door on a dude in a wheelchair? Was it the time that you farted while a girl was going down on you? The time that you accidentally made fun of a girl who had baby hands?
I love that. So it's weird because if you say the specific thing, then that's the thing. That's why I may be suggesting, at least at first, you can be vague about it. I always love the concept of kind of dancing around the thing that we know it is. You know, you're just making the assumption for people. So for example, if you do have examples, that's great. But then you could also go like, at some point, I'm sure she's tired of it. Like she's exhausted from hearing the same story over. So you're just like, ugh. And it's like, honey, it was your first time. Just get over it. Like, of course you were going to come too quickly, whatever. Just like she's already ahead of you based on whatever.
I go, ooh. She's like, you're never going to see him again. What? I don't understand. We're still so upset about this.
It was a waiter one time. That was in New Mexico. It doesn't matter. Who cares because I could have more flies? It doesn't matter.
Mel Torme is dead, Jarret.
Yeah. So exactly. Skipping that middle step is, I think,
That's really funny.
where I
I
like
like
to
that.
go.
I will say I do like the Schadenfreude of her enjoying it.
That's
that
the
does
thing that
tickle
I was
me.
trying to see if I needed to write that part also.
So what if she's excited about it and you're like, no, I can't tell you this one. It's really embarrassing. Then she starts rattling off, oh, is it the time you did that? Can you do that? Then at the end of it, you're like, you know what? It actually isn't that embarrassing at all anymore. Because she's just reminding you of all of these embarrassing moments.
Yeah.
Well, and building off of that if you play out that scenario and then at the end of that you do that again and she's like, what was that? And you're like, just me reliving what just happened.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a new one. Ooh, that's
Just
a new one.
this. Just what's going on right now.
I think all of these are able to be in the joke. Like, I don't think you have to delete any of these things. You can start with,
Delete Rob's.
well, I mean, yeah.
Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
Jump straight from Brett's to Adams.
Yeah,
No, wait, Rob, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to go along with the joke of me not talking.
maybe the reason why she knows is not because of the way that I'm shivering, but where we are. Like
That's
if
interesting.
if the waiter comes over and is like sparkling or still, and I'm like still, and then he leaves and I go, "Ugh," she knows it's the time that a waiter came over and said sparkling or still. And I was like, I thought that wine was, I don't know. I have to make up an embarrassing thing that would happen in that scenario.
Damn it.
But here's my question for you guys, because the framing that it is now is just about like being embarrassed and getting the shivers. But I potentially thought that the interesting thing about this would be, why does my fiance want to hear about these stories? Why is she so interested in it? And I thought that that's about like the value of being vulnerable in a relationship. And so she loves it when I expose these moments where I feel so raw. But that felt so much more to explain than just, hey, you ever know when you get the shivers? You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I think Schadenfreude is
Universal.
Yeah. And so you could throw something that's a little bit more specific to your relationship. Like, we know each other so well that it's the only time I could say something embarrassing. Like, maybe you feel safe saying stuff embarrassing. It's actually just entertainment.
Ooh, maybe it's like, maybe after I do the original, like, ooh, what was that one? I can say, and she loves hearing about it too, because, you know, I can be a little cocky sometimes. So she loves it when she finds a little vulnerability. It's just like, ugh, here's the blood in the water. Maybe something like that could be a fun, just like a small little offshoot, and then go back to the tags that you guys were talking about.
Yeah, if you just start off with, I can be a little cocky sometimes, and then go into the rest.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting framing.
I think that, you know, again, speaking to facts that everything is possible. If you start very simplistic and you just you can get deeper and deeper and deeper as you go, you know, it can turn into a bit about you know, relationships and you know, emotional openness and all that kind of stuff. But it can just come from sort of this unassuming oblique angle. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's very savvy. I'm sorry, I was laughing because you said anything is possible. And I was just like, well, I understand what you mean in the context of like, yeah, stand up joke can come from any direction.
Which is incidentally the caption that was underneath the picture of Chicago in Idaho.
Could Boise be Chicago? What? Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
It's just Kevin Garnett screaming it in the Celtics. There's like every other city that's not Boise. They've just got like Boston Celtics stuff.
You never know. All right. Anything else for this, guys?
Yes.
Ooh, all right.
Yes. I was curious about what, if any, moments she has, and do you recognize her shudders? Or what does she shudder about? Or, you know, this could be real, this could be made up. You know, she has no shudders. There's nothing that she feels embarrassed by. Something. I don't know.
This could potentially be good for the bit because she has a much lower bar for things that are embarrassing. So I get embarrassed because I have these massively embarrassing things that have happened in my life that every human would agree are like, wow, that's embarrassing. The thing she gets embarrassed about, I'm like, that's not a big deal. This is, you know, no human would be embarrassed by this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we disagree on this. You know, maybe my bar's too high, maybe her bar's too low. Doesn't matter. But I think maybe that dynamic could be funny where I do my shiver and she's like, ooh, what was that one? And I say, oh, it's really embarrassing. It's this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then one day she does the shiver and I go, what was that? She's like, you will never know. You will never know. No human will know.
But it's also not a big deal. Like, is that?
Yeah,
is
it's
that
like the time she forgot to
lore?
put detergent in the laundry machine.
I like the idea if everything makes her like embarrassed, that you're just like, oh, actually, hi, honey, come here. She's just like, she's just constantly in a state of just like, oh yeah, this is my fiance, this is Kirsten.
I think I'll have the salmon. What about you, baby?
The only time she snaps out of it is if she sees you shudder.
Well, thank God Jarret's embarrassed.
Wait, say your note again, Rob? You said something that made me think of.
Oh, I said, yeah, I got one more thing. I was just curious about what, if anything, makes her shudder, and Jarret's curiosity about that.
Oh, yeah, because we know Jarret isn't interested in a woman's pleasure. We know that she's not shuddering from sex. I wasn't worth going back for, but then I remembered what it was. I was like, well, I've already brought us here.
It's like taking the subway all the way uptown because you saw a quarter on the street.
And then once you're there, you're like, oh, I just came back for a quarter. I guess I'll grab it.
It would have been funnier if you're like, oh yes, I remember. No, I'm not sure.
I was
Not
that
worth it.
close. I was that close.
I mean, Jarrett's bad at sex. It's not important. All right. Thanks so much for the notes.
I remember what the actual thought was. Is there some time that she can possibly, like, if you're just cold, if you're shuddering for a different reason, and maybe she thinks that you're embarrassed?
Interesting.
Like
if I forget my jacket and I'm just like, like shivering, and she's like, it's not that big of a deal. You just forgot your jacket. Everybody does it sometimes.
That's really funny. I'm just cold.
That's good.
Because I also do get cold really easily. I have to bring a sweater to the movies.
And it's so embarrassing.
But again, I don't mind admitting that because my bar for what's embarrassing is really high.
When I get cold, I pee myself. It's horrible. It's the whole thing.
When I pee myself and it's cold outside, I usually prematurely ejaculate. And the farting, oh my God, the farting is just nonstop throughout that entire thing. So, no big deal. If a person did that, oh my God, would she be embarrassed? Oh.
That's excellent.
All right. Thanks so much for the notes, everybody.
Absolutely.
Assuming there's nothing else, we got Rob Ryan.
Rob Ryan.
Coming up next.
All right, I got two things for you today. One is just a sketch. I'm mixing it up a little bit.
Ooh,
so
okay.
yeah,
So I just got to go get some wigs and props, and I'll be right back.
just play this music. Okay, great. Here we go. Here's the sketch. It is kind of like that. I'm gonna act it out.
All right.
All right. Okay. So we'll just do this. And come on from off screen here. This is crazy. I just came from 50th Street when I was walking along, and then all of a sudden it just starts pouring. Oh man, I feel like I just jumped into a lake. Oh, you think that's bad? Yeah. Well, I just came up from 42nd Street and I'm walking along, and then all of a sudden it just starts pouring. Oh yeah. Okay, you think that's bad? You think that I live on the west side. Okay, I live in Hell's Kitchen. I walk to work every day. And then today, I'm walking. It's a nice day out. And then all of a sudden, it just starts pouring. Oh my God. I was just coming from the east side and I was walking along and somebody came out of nowhere and he asked me for all my money and I didn't want to give it to him. And I said no and he stabbed me. He stabbed me and I was bleeding everywhere and nobody was there and I just started crawling. I started crawling on the street. And then out of nowhere, it just starts pouring. It's the whole thing.
Yay. Great job. And great Bill Burr impression, too.
I thought it was a little more Regan. I felt like it was.
Oh,
Regan, much more
yeah.
Regan
That
for
is
sure.
better. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's great. I want more justification as to why the second and third guy are comparing. Because
Why is
they're
theirs worse?
1-to-1s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I didn't believe it, but I loved the button at the end.
Got it. Yes, that makes sense. That's true. It's weird because my mind, it wasn't like it turned into one-upsmanship, but originally in my head, I was talking about this with like this current roommate that I had, where I was like, I just hate shared experiences. And then everybody just chimes in with their version of that thing. And I know what the thing is going to be. And it's usually downpours or heavy snow. They're like, oh, I live in Brooklyn. And we just got like 12 inches. They got 12 inches. I come from Queens. And we got like 14 inches. And I'm just like, I just don't want to hear any of this.
The more mundane, the more annoying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I've worked at Olive Garden for many years. And so many times coming into work as everyone's kind of shuffling it for their shift, throughout the years, it'd be some kind of thing like that. And I just get everyone's version of the same thing. I'm like, I know what happened. I know. It started pouring rain. That's what happened. Everybody have the same thing.
In that case, I would say just take out the one-upsmanship and just make everybody in agreeal, but everybody comes to it with their experience as though it's somehow different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit is that bit from 25 years ago on Harmful If Swallowed, the Dane Cook thing about like the car accident where everybody who walks outside is saying some version of like, yeah, I heard it and I came out. But they're all just like, that's all anyone is saying as they're standing around is some version of that.
That's great. Wow,
Like I was in my kitchen, I was cleaning a dish, I heard it, I came out.
That's perfect. Yeah, that is pretty much the exact same, nailing the same idea or concept.
Yeah, I think it was the "you think that's bad"
Right,
that made
yeah,
me
yeah.
want it to be a one-upsmanship. But if people are coming onto the subway at different times, then it makes sense for them to just come in because they didn't hear the previous story.
That's true. Yeah.
Is that what you were imagining? You're imagining everyone's here is on the subway? I imagined you were coming into someone's apartment or something.
I imagine that they're coming into work or apartment or some central location, and that they are just eager to tell their version of the exact same thing that happened. But I didn't necessarily mean it for it to turn into a straight up one-upsmanship thing. That's a different thing. That actually also is a Brian Regan bit when he's talking about getting he had 2 wisdom teeth taken out, and he was just like, don't ever try to tell a 2 wisdom teeth story. People are going to be coming in from helicopters trying to tell you their 4 wisdom teeth story. Oh, you had 2, I had 4. They were impacted. So I thought that was really funny. But so I guess it would be more along the lines of just they want to get their version, but their version is obviously no different than anyone else's version.
Yeah, I think the thing that's funny about it is not that they didn't know that someone else told the same story. It's
They
that
did hear the same story.
they heard the same story and they're like, well, what I'm going to add is more of this. More of the same.
So there should be that level of like, oh yeah. Well, I was coming from over there, and you wouldn't believe it. It just starts to pour. So it's not a matter of I'm better than you. It's just like, yeah. So I was walking along, right? I was at the park, and then at the park, and then it just starts. You're like, oh my god, it's so stupid.
Yeah, if you can.
Well, and I also love the idea of the setup of like, you're not going to believe this, and it's like, I'm absolutely going to believe it.
Not only did I just hear it from 2 other people, but it also happened to me. So I will believe it.
Yeah, I should be keen to keep "you're not going to believe this" in there. Cool.
What were you saying, Brett? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm having an ADD day. Jarret doesn't pleasure women.
Can we take some time to come back to it and then realize that it wasn't worth coming back to?
Yeah. Let's just pretend. Let's just cut straight to that.
When it's sudden downpour is the only time that Jarret sees a woman who's wet.
If you were to misdirect, like the first person who, the second person who says something, as if they're going to tell something different, and then if they go, I started to lose my grip on my phone, and I'm fumbling with it. It falls, and then it just starts pouring.
Oh, right. Yeah,
I feel like that gives away the last one, though.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I think that would fundamentally change the structure of the thing, so I might not.
But it's just because it goes from one to one, and then it goes. It seems like the getting stabbed is a heightening. I feel like there's a heightening and a misdirection, and I feel like both of them coming in at the end. It's silly, but it doesn't quite vibe with me.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess if I were to explain if I were to break down the structure of it, it would be, here's the first thing, which is nothing. It's just a point in space. And then the second thing, we're picking up on that pattern. The third thing confirms that pattern. And then we just do get a left field, out of nowhere thing. And hopefully, you're scratching your head a little bit. And then you go, yeah, it went back to the exact same thing.
What if the people on the train start to help the guy and they ask him what happened?
We've established it's not happening on a train, Brett.
It's on a train. I don't listen.
Home or
Adam lives on a train in Manhattan
With Malachi.
with Malachi, who is his niece.
We don't have to hear it from you, Mr. I Can't Please a Woman Berenstein.
Jarret doesn't like subways because they make him feel inadequate.
The last guy comes in and he's just bleeding, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, what happened?" And then I feel like that's okay for me a little bit more. Almost like they've forgotten they're telling this story about the pouring rain. They're just like this crazy thing is happening. Now we're focusing on this guy.
Okay, that's a subtle enough change that
That would
so we
fix
can
it for me.
imagine this being like 3 people who are in the location and one
train.
person who comes in at the very end.
right.
I would say even if you start heightening like a little bit in the other stories, I don't think it's going to ruin the tag of the little one. And I think that what you can do is every person is including details that 100% do not need to be there. So it could be the first person is like, I just came from 52nd Street and it just starts pouring. It's like, oh my God. Yeah, I was over on 43rd. You know, I was having lunch with my ex-wife. You know, she's still giving me the ringer. We stand outside, all of a sudden, it just starts pouring. And the third guy's like, no, absolutely. You know, I was over at Central Park. You know, I'm still looking for my daughter. She's, that might be a little too far. Might be a little too close to the stabby,
Right.
as far as like, you know, we don't want to get too close to that, but just like details that don't need to be there.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
and heightening of that before you heighten with, oh my God, I got stabbed, and then it started pouring.
Yeah, that'll give me just enough entertainment in the meantime that I think I'll enjoy the misdirection at the end even more.
Got it. That's so interesting. Yeah. It's so funny because I wind up when I'm doing sketch comedy kind of avoiding adding too many like layers into that stuff, even though I wind up enjoying it when I do see it, when I see it done on things like Portlandia or other, you know, shows that try to mix and go, yeah, we have that thread running, but then we also have this other thread and this other like layer. And you go, oh, this is tickling my mind in multiple ways. So there is something to that where you're like, what? Why did that middle guy say the thing about looking for his
And
daughter?
Rob, not to split hairs, but how fast is the train going?
Let's call
All
it.
right.
Excellent. Next up, we
Great.
got Adam Mamawala. But before we get to that, just want to remind everybody to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/ITA-pod. A lot of great exclusive content on there. The high writing challenges, which they're going to be another episode of coming up soon. We've got story time. We've got the sleepover and awesome tiers, including stickers, discounts to live shows, etc. So check it out, patreon.com/ITA-pod.
I
Now
like
we
the
got
idea of Adam not knowing what's on our Patreon and just hearing we've got the high writing challenge, the sleepover, the group murder, we've got the robbery,
we've got the orgy, we've got
you know what
I mean, that's one way to grow the Patreon.
If you say coming soon, then we can just say all those things.
the vomitorium.
Space lasers.
Oh my God.
Next up, we've got Adam hiding in Adam Mamawala's house, and he doesn't know that we're there. And next up, we've got Adam Mamawala.
All right, here
Adam
we go. Here we go.
Mamawala.
Well,
Yeah,
as
let's-
I told you all earlier, in Brett's recalling, it's my niece Malachi. But
Malachi.
I do have a nephew. I became an uncle recently, and as you
Oh,
all did
congratulations.
every time,
Congrats.
thank you.
I wasn't listening.
Right, and people keep doing that, which is weird because I was not involved. But I do kind of understand it because it is the only time that you can congratulate someone on their sister having sex without getting punched in the face. But my sister was in labor for 33 hours.
Whoa.
33 hours. Do you really like do you know how long that you could start the last dance a fourth time? That's so long. 33 hours. And she had 2 epidurals. If you don't know what an epidural is, that is when they inject something into your spine and then you're basically numb below the waist. She had 2 of those. Now, she was open to it. She was okay with it. But a lot of women, when they're giving birth, they don't want the epidural because they want to feel childbirth. That's like a thing that happens. And that to me is the fundamental difference between men and women. Is that women are so strong that the only time they say, I want to make sure I feel it, is when they are experiencing the most excruciating pain a human can experience. And the only time a man says, I want to be able to feel it, is when he doesn't want to wear a condom. Like the amount of privilege involved in not wanting to make something that feels amazing, slightly less amazing, is just astonishing. I don't really have like a final tag for that bit, but that's basically the bones of it.
Lovely. Oh, what a great bit. I love that.
That's great. I want, I don't know if it's possible, but I want there to be one more thing after congratulating your sister for having sex. I don't know if it's an act out. I don't know if it's a detail or something, but that part feels just slightly undercooked to me. There might not be anything, but that's what I was hoping for as I was listening to it.
Yeah. I have not asked my sister's permission to talk about her pregnancy on stage, so this is very much in the, inner workings part.
I did not something you included in the actual joke, but because I know this now, if she had 33 hours of pregnancy and Malachi means messenger of God, it's like, man, that must have been a slow delivery of that message.
As a real rambling voicemail.
Yeah, and then all he had to say was "wah," like what?
I do like the idea that the reason why it takes so long is because God's message is just like all over the place. It's like, hey, how's it going? So I'm over here, just hanging out. And I was thinking about when we saw that movie the other day, like maybe we should definitely do that again. Anyway, so you and the kids, us and the kids, we all got to get together again. Oh boy, Tuesday's bad. Ooh. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I liked when you said 33 hours. You made a reference to, what was this? Is this a movie? I actually didn't.
Yeah, I need a reference. That's The Last Dance is that like Bulls documentary that everybody was obsessed with last year. That's like 10 hours long. But I need some. I don't want to do like Irishman because I feel like that's contrived. But like something like that. That's like what would be a good frame of reference for how long 33 hours.
Right.
is.
I just couldn't. Yeah, because I didn't quickly recall The Last Dance. That was an issue for me. But I was like, when you said it, I was like, what? The Last Dance? Is that a movie? How could a movie be 10 hours long? And I kept on I was like, whatever. But that's just me. If these guys knew what that was.
Well, no, but it needs to be something that's like enough of a part of the, culture that anyone would know what it is. So I'm trying to think of what good references would be.
I have seen The Last Dance. I did not recognize it when you said it. I was just like, that's a long movie because I understand joke structure.
Yeah, exactly. I could have said anything there.
So what's a good frame of reference to like make the point of how incredibly long 33 hours is?
I had two thoughts.
I have one idea. Oh, sorry.
Ooh. First is that the kid went right from vagina to preschool. That's how long the labor was. Second idea is somehow making it like a quarantine. Like we were in for 14 months. So this 33-hour long labor was like that for the kid, only that it was in your sister's vagina.
That's not where babies live.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure Adam has a vagina.
Yeah, I mean,
right,
that
right
doesn't.
at the opening.
Why would there be so much space in there? Like not for a male penis.
Jarret. If you perceive that there's a lot of space in there, I think that probably says more about you than whoever the woman is.
There we go.
The person would be embarrassed by this, but not Jarret.
There's anyone to be embarrassed about. I got a real normal sized penis, and vaginas are cavernous, every single one of them.
Adam, if you want to go an exaggerated route and actually misdirect because we already know that 33 hours is long. If you were to, I'll just use The Irishman as an example. If you were to go, that's like half of The Irishman. Then the joke is now on how long something else is, and it's even more clear. So if there's something, I don't know, Quentin Tarantino, that's half of a Quentin Tarantino movie. Instead of it perfectly illustrating, it's a little bit of a misdirect.
Yeah,
that's
like that. I'm trying to think of things that are good. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's twice as long as they quarantined in Texas.
My thought was that 33 hours. Do you realize how long that is? The kid's birthday changed 3 times. Pardon me. Sorry.
Oh,
that's funny. I mean,
that's
that actually
great.
could
really
be
good.
true.
Yeah.
Like
It's
if
like,
you went into
it's the
labor
27th. That's gonna be the 28th. 49th. Here we go. We had a
That's funny.
pool. Yeah.
He's a Leo. No, he's a Cancer.
Yeah.
I don't know science. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. I would like from your example, like I would never be like to an anesthesiologist going in for shoulder surgery. Like, you know what? I want to feel it.
Right.
Although I do want to, is there a way to do the way that a guy says, I don't want to wear a condom to an anesthesiologist? Like, no, come on. It's going to feel so
like
much.
a kind of direct, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're so good at surgery.
Like you wouldn't go to you wouldn't tell your anesthesiologist that you don't want to wear a condom.
You just made me think of because a lot of women there is like a point of pride in giving a natural birth. So I kind of like the idea of the woman who takes the epidural but doesn't want to admit that she took the epidural. And they're just like, how did that feel? She's like, oh, it was just
horrible.
Yeah. Oh, and it was so...
Ow!
I'm so mad, and it's like, man, I have to do this. And it's like,
The entire time I was like, why didn't I get the epidural?
There it was.
That's so funny.
So let me know if you're going to use that because I'll take it if you don't. But I thought of a different joke a while ago about like suicide rates in men, and men's suicide rates are higher because I've thought about like women feel the breath of life, like I've never been happier than I've seen a woman just looking at a dog. She's like, oh my God. I'm like, how do you get that happy? That's crazy, but then they also go through, like, they just take on pain. Like they just accept it and just go to these emotional places. Whereas men, when they get like a little sad, they're like, I'm probably just going to kill myself. I mean, that's like, I'm not going to live like this for another 2 days. It's crazy.
Yeah. And the only other angle that I didn't even like explore in the way I told it now is like, how sometimes you hear even like comics who have kids or whatever, like male comics, they'll be on stage like, oh, I had a baby last week. And they don't even say we, they say I. Just like the fucking gall that it would take for my brother-in-law to say the word I after that, which he didn't. But like just picturing being that out of touch and being like, yeah, I had a baby.
Yeah, that's like you saying I had a baby. As the uncle.
I was as involved.
And by the way, no epidural.
The analogy,
or the idea of the husband getting an epidural because he's so stressed.
Yeah. I was thinking he's gonna like smoke. I was thinking different, like he smokes weed or just take some other drug. Like, so you had to get drugged.
It was rough, man. I had to have a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
The 1-to-1 of women want to feel the pain of childbirth and men want to feel the pleasure of sex. It seems like there's something there because in order to get the woman pregnant, you have to have sex without a condom. I don't know how you thread that line, but it's there.
I think the idea is that like if men didn't want that to feel as good, women wouldn't like. I see what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like if less men made that argument, there would be less women who had to want to feel childbirth.
So it's
I don't
almost
know how to make that line up, but
so it's almost like men are saying, I want to feel. No, never mind. That idea was terrible. It's like Brett's joke from earlier.
Or you at lovemaking.
I think what you're getting at is like, I want to feel great so that if things go wrong, you feel terrible.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not the man making that decision that she's going to feel terrible. It's the woman making that decision because she can choose to get the epidural and have it not hurt as much. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how to square that circle.
Yeah, it's tricky.
How do you have it now? Adam, could you say it again?
It's not really worked out, but it basically was, she had 2 epidurals, but like a lot of women don't want to have an epidural because they say that they want to feel, they're afraid that if they do, they're not going to feel anything. Which is the fundamental difference between men and women. Like the only time a man says, no, I don't want to because I don't want to not be able to feel anything is when he's trying to not put a condom on. Mm-hmm. A more concise version of that, but that's the gist.
Right.
Yeah, there's something about the negation of this statement that throws me off. The only time that a woman doesn't want to do this thing.
Yeah, there's too many double negatives there. I need to figure out how to like phrase it properly.
But I find it so interesting that like, that even in the face of the worst pain, like, that the human can go through, a woman's like, no, I want to feel that. I want to experience that. And the only time that a man like, musters up that courage is when he's being told to wear a condom. He's like, I kind of want to feel it. I just don't want that.
Right.
I'll kill any other pain in my life. Trust me, I will drink away or smoke away all the other pain, but I do want that condom to go away. It's so funny, and I know this doesn't really fit into your joke, but I just love taking the con side to this whole argument. So I'm just thinking of like, I mean, it says 33 hours, but when do they start counting? Like, honestly, I feel like they're probably like, oh, I don't, maybe, and then just starts the clock, and you're like, that's not labor. I mean, she's making it seem like the shoulders are just hanging out there for 27 hours. Like, hey, that's not what's going on. She's laid
If I
on.
ever want to get my sister's approval, I'm definitely not going that route.
There's a TV. She's sitting there. Come on. I love how all women know the time too, as if the doctor's just sitting there like, end time. Whoa, all right. Woo! Did you guys see that? That's 33 hours.
And that's why it took so long, because he wasn't delivering the baby; he's just timing it. So the sum of this is that women will go through the largest amount of discomfort possible, and men will go through we'll go through no discomfort.
Yeah, won't even.
Right.
Yeah, won't even go through any discomfort. So much to the point where the only time that they're concerned about how much they're feeling is when they won't wear a condom.
Ooh, which is actually good evolutionarily because that's how babies are made. I think this is what Jarret was saying earlier. Or
Nope.
So what you're saying, Rob, is that men are heroes. That's the takeaway.
Yeah, men are heroes.
Yeah.
Because of men's inability to wear a condom and not feel the that much better joy, they get women pregnant, and then women do their part by having those babies.
Hey, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know?
I think Rob just gave me the talk.
I'm surprised that's your reaction.
I'm good on my bit. I'm done. Thank you, everybody.
How we doing, Leedy? Still nailing it?
Nailing it. You got the thumbs up of a woman who has never had a child, but you got it. Way to go.
All right. Next up, we got Brett Druck.
Okay. Let's see here. I wonder if, like, when a ghost slams a door in a house, the other ghosts are like, just tell him you're haunting him. You're being passive aggressive.
I like that. I like it a lot. But doesn't sound like there are ghosts that aren't passive aggressive like that. Like there are no stories of ghosts being not that. So every ghost then would be passive aggressive.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good point.
But it's funny, even if that, you know, that's the piece that I'm missing in order to heighten and continue the logic of it. But it's super funny the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot to prepare a joke, and then while we were doing the episode, just went into my Twitter and went from @BrettDruck, and then I was like, I'll just pick a word. I picked a ghost, and then I found this tweet from 2015. So I haven't really thought about the joke either.
Excellent.
Not in a while.
Jarret, you all right? Oh, he's laughing.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just can't believe Brett was just like, yeah, you know, didn't really have anything today.
I can't really defend this joke because I haven't thought about it in 6 years.
But and you may or may not have already brought it to the show.
Yeah, I have no idea. Not only do I not listen to other people, I don't listen to myself.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
I like the very meta idea that Brett is being haunted by this ghost bit from 6 just won't go away.
Yeah, but why do ghosts do that? Why do they always just like knock a glass over? Why don't they just be like,
it is immature, yeah.
Boom, motherfucker? You know?
Yeah.
All ghosts are Samuel L. Jackson to me.
I liked in the movie Ghost where Patrick Swayze like really had to focus a lot of his attention and energy just to, you know, cross over into the physical realm and actually move something. So there was almost like a little bit of an explanation there where like it really took a lot out of him and energy to just push a thing. And that's all he could do. So that was kind of cool.
It's hard for ghosts, Brett. Did you ever think about that? It's difficult. It's not an easy thing. It takes a lot of energy.
I'm not coming out with this joke with any tags or anything, but I am coming out with empathy for how hard it is to be a ghost.
They just died. You know, they've been through a lot.
How come ghosts never do pottery with you? They're always knocking over glasses.
I don't know how the spiritual metaphysical world works, but it does happen.
We know where that's in your brain.
That's in the baby
Unsorted.
But I don't know why ghosts have to communicate in the weird ways that they do. Why is it, you know, something to do with electromagnetism? There's television and voices and just weird things.
Maybe it's like a call from prison.
Yeah. There's only one mode of communication. You only get one call. You got to make it good. Pick the person, you know.
You got to make it good. So what you choose to do with that is just knock a glass over.
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be perfect, so I knocked a glass over.
Maybe it's like a game of charades too, where they're like, you know, afterwards when you didn't get it, and you're like, I did the thing where I made the bunny ears. I made the bunny ears. How is that not obvious that I was the tricks bunny? I did cereal and then I did bunny ears. What else was I gonna do?
Yeah, I love the idea of the ghost trying to figure out the best ways to communicate the things.
I want the person who's living in the house that I died in to find my children and tell them that I love them, even though I'm no longer with them. And so I pushed a glass over.
I also like the idea of the ghost that wants to mess with somebody but doesn't want to be rude. Like, he'll knock over a glass of water, but if it's coffee, it's like, it's new carpet. I don't want to be an asshole about it.
He also knocks over some stain remover.
I know we've got a whole bunch of different avenues here, but I think passive aggressive is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That is
like a catty ghost.
Yeah. So maybe if it's like I guess because ghosts never they do such slight things, they slam a door, they knock over glass. I guess it's very hard in the paranormal world to physically manifest your haunting, but maybe they're just passive aggressive. That could be the intro into it.
I like the idea of this ghost like knocking over a whole bunch of glasses and the human being like, fine, you don't want me to live here, I'll leave. And the ghost being like, no, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I don't care.
Oh, you know what? Actually, now I remember where this thought came from. When I was in college, I had at the last year I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roommates in this house, and 2 or 3 of them were. One particularly was anal retentive, and he was like really clean and stuff like that. And 2 of the guys who were brothers, they were like the exact opposite, like just whatever, would leave everything out, no problem. And the anal retentive guy would get upset that they weren't like taking out the garbage and stuff. And so he would get more aggravated, but he would never confront them about it. And so he would do stuff like leave the garbage bags because they weren't taking out the garbage in front of their door, and then they would just step over it. And what tickled me about it was the fact that they were just like, I think there's a ghost. So I guess what's funny about it is passive aggressive behavior. If you don't really notice it, kind of looks like there's a ghost.
Yeah. It's funny that you went that direction because I was going to go the opposite. Where so if you're the type of person that just doesn't pay attention to these subtle things, you could be being haunted for years and never notice because
that's really funny.
Just like what? I don't.
But like the ghost is like, what do I have to do to get this guy?
Right. Because I keep knocking shit over, and then I was thinking as that like you buy a cat, and then the ghost is like, oh, and now I'm never gonna get the message across. He's got a fucking cat. It's everything he knocks over. It's probably the cat. It's cat.
The cat's like trying to tell him there's a ghost. He's like, yeah, shut up, meow, 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 I got it.
If you have even one shitty roommate and you have a ghost, you would never notice because you just always assume that the shitty roommate is doing this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if you have one passive aggressive roommate.
Yeah. Hey, roommate meeting. I don't know who's slamming doors and crying,
turning
murder.
the lights on and off.
I like that a lot. I once lived in a house with a passive aggressive roommate and also a ghost, but I didn't know for a while.
That feels like a leap. Like it feels like we like that because we've heard all of this brainstorming. But
then I would give examples. I'd be like, oh, there's a glass on the broken on the floor. I wonder what that means. Have I not been cleaning the glasses well enough? Oh, goat's blood. I guess I was supposed to pick up some lamb.
But then finally the roommate moved out, but the stuff kept on happening. And I realized, I just have a passive aggressive ghost.
All right. Well, there's a lot in here for me to play with. I should probably think about my jokes before I bring them to the show, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to do things.
I was going to say at the risk of being rude as we've been on here, I think I thought of a line for my bit. Can I try one line?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Not rude.
So I like the idea. I forget who brought it up. Of
probably
like,
me, but keep going.
Probably Rob. Yeah, if it was good, probably Rob. And if it involved an incorrect name, probably Brett.
If it involved not pleasuring a woman, it was probably Jarret.
Yep.
Yes, definitely Jarret. But the idea that like that message from God like took too long. I think it could be a fun opportunity, to be like, after I established that it took 33 hours, then to introduce like, my nephew's name is Malachi. Fuck, I fucked it up now.
Oh, no.
My nephew's name is Malachi, which means messenger of God. But given how long he took to arrive, apparently God has Boost Mobile.
That's
I feel like that could be like a fun insert.
Yeah, that's great. Excellent.
Is Boost Mobile the best reference? Metro PCS. What is the worst service? Cricket Wireless.
Cricket. I think of Cricket.
Yeah, I knew any of those three would track for me. Boost has like a nice.
If the first one doesn't hit, then try each one afterwards.
Right.
Immediately.
In the show, yeah.
Yeah. Just like, the Cricket Mobile. Boost Mobile?
No? Nothing?
Metro PCS?
T-Mobile?
Oh, there he is. This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Brett, going back to your joke for a second. I actually think I might have a ghost because every time I finish having sex with my fiance, she goes, boo. It was my dream that we fit that bit into every joke that we presented today. And so that was the only one that was missing.
How do ghosts tell people they don't like a performance?
Boat ghosts or regular ghosts?
What's that? You say boat ghosts?
It sounded like you misspoke and said boat ghosts.
Oh, I gotcha.
Not to be confused with all those people on the train who were in the rain.
Yeah, for sure. How do ghosts tell people they don't like a performance?
Or maybe that's all they're really doing. They're not trying to scare you. They just don't like the choices that you're making.
They just disapprove of your life.
I'll just leave my laundry to tomorrow. Boo! Boo!
If you finally start doing good things. Yay!
You don't see enough encouraging ghosts.
Yeah. Such pessimists. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And thanks for coming on, Adam. Thanks for joining us today.
Sure.
Great
Thanks
bits,
for being our guest.
great riffs. I think it's time for Leedy Does a Drawing Show.
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right?
Yep. Nailed it.
Leedy
Time,
does
time.
a drawing show. Leedy
Time.
does a drawing show.
Time.
There's a comic. I'm trying to remember her name. She had a joke about how she doesn't like the fact that breasts are called boobies because it seems negative. So she calls her yabies.
Oh my god. First up, I have
Hey,
Jarret
Rooster.
Jarret's Rooster.
Rooster Jarret.
He's already awake as looking at the clock, waiting for the clock to turn 6 a.m.
Then I have Boise looking at Chicago.
Nice.
Oh, that was meant to say someday, but I gave up halfway through.
Oh yeah, well so did Boise, to be honest.
Oh dear. Then I have you guys as stained glass window saints.
Wow,
cool.
Brett as
great.
the patron saint of bubble tea. That's Jarret as the patron saint of roosters. That's Adam as the patron saint of nieces or nephews. And then that's Rob as the patron saint of facts.
This is
He's
wonderful.
pointing to his head.
Yeah. It's right there.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So good.
Then I have an animation. This is that scared Adam that I really enjoyed.
Great.
Next I have, and then it just starts snoring.
That's so fun.
I also like that the bloody hand is the one reaching out to
Yeah.
gesticulate. You're not gonna believe it.
Then I have, anyways, that's all I wanted to say. Cool guys.
God has an android, doesn't he?
I'm really glad you guys knew what that was, so I wouldn't have to try to explain it. Then I have the child being in the womb so long he's got a desk job and so on. That's it.
You mean being in a vagina so long?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. I just don't know my own anatomy. Oh my god. Then I have, he never uses the Ouija board. It's like he doesn't want to. And last but not least, the stupidest thing I've drawn on this podcast for a while.
Ooh.
Boom.
God damn.
Samuel L. Jackson as a ghost. I love it.
Great.
That's it for me.
Oh, thank you, Leedy.
Leedy
ladies.
Corbin.
Adam, where can people find you?
People can find me at Adam Mamawala on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same for my website, adammamawala.com. That's it. Yeah, I don't know if I don't really have much to plug. I'm going to put my album's up on Bandcamp now. So this Friday, I don't know when this airs. Probably it'll be
3
after
weeks.
that.
Couple weeks, 3 weeks, yeah.
Okay, well, buy my album on Bandcamp because it gives people more money.
Hey. that's
Okay,
great.
all right.
What's the name of your album?
Oh, it's one of the good ones.
One of the good ones.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
So buy Adam's album, everybody, and Leedy, people can find you.
Patreon.com/Leedy Corbin and Instagram is @Leedy Corbin. So give me a follow or support me.
Yay!
Oh,
Thank you guys
also,
so much.
I'll be on
Oh,
tour with Steve starting August 26th.
all
Yeah.
right. And Jarret and Rob, I believe, will also be on that. part
That's
of the
right,
tour.
but we
That's true.
don't matter.
Well, I didn't know I was supposed to plug you guys too.
No,
Come for
it's
me.
fine. We don't have feelings. Thank you so much to our guests. Thank you guys for watching. Outro goes here. Thanks so much for watching. Check back every Monday for new episodes, or you can listen wherever you enjoy podcasts. If you want to help support the show, tell your friends how much you like Is This Anything? Or get involved, like an episode, share, comment, subscribe. If you want more Is This Anything, you got to join our Patreon at patreon.com/ITApod. We have a ton of awesome exclusive content on there, and you can join for as little as $1 a month. Check out the links in the description, and hopefully we'll see you next week.